Hey folks, before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to say that going forward, you will notice a definite increase in the quality of my audio recording, and that's because thanks to the support of my monthly patrons, I have been in a position where I've been able to buy a professional podcasting microphone, and for that, I am deeply grateful. Now, on with the show. One of the things that separates human beings from the other living creatures on this planet is our ability to tell and desire to share complex narratives which express something meaningful about the nature of our reality. It would be utter foolishness to try and claim that a story can exist without the author or creator trying to make a point. All stories must have a moral foundation, otherwise they are not stories at all, just meaningless collections of words thrown together. As regular viewers will by now be aware, I am a journalist by profession, and therefore I have an understanding and deep respect for the power of storytelling and how narratives can be used to shape our daily lives. However, as with so many things in life, there is a good way to do something and a bad way to do something. So today, I'm going to share and contrast several examples, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll see what I mean. I will begin with what I consider to be one of the best examples of storytelling in existence. The epic tale of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. From the story's very outset, in the quiet and peaceful Shire, Tolkien's worldview permeates the narrative thoroughly. His philosophical stances on subjects like greed, the lust for power, and the importance of being willing to stand for what you believe to be right, regardless of the danger you face, are very clear. With all this in mind, and even though his writing style and the dialogue particularly are products of their age, there is undoubtedly a reason why the story has thrilled readers for generations and also become one of the most successful film franchises of all time. I think it's because even though the core plot arc is really about overthrowing a tyrannical dictator, the reader or watcher, in whichever medium you encounter the story, is never made to feel as though they are being preached to or moralized in a sanctimonious or patronizing manner. By comparison, it seems to me that the writers of today have forgotten that their first responsibility is to tell a compelling story. Far too often these days, characters from beloved franchises cease to be characters at all, and are instead made into puppets to parrot the hackneyed and overbearing views of people who are clearly trying to be social and political activists in the guise of storytellers. One of the most blatant examples of this kind of ideological poisoning is Netflix's recent dark and gritty adaptation of Sabrina the Teenage Witch in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Having been a big fan of Melissa Joan Hart's portrayal of Sabrina when I was a teenager, I eagerly awaited this new incarnation. I knew going into it that it would be darker than the previous version, but I was okay with that, and I genuinely went in wanting to like the show. However, within 20 minutes of the very first episode, characters were discussing how witches needed to unite in order to overthrow the dominance of the white patriarchy. Now I ask you, why on earth would I, as a white male, wish to continue watching a show which is so obviously set in direct antagonism to my race and gender? By all means, I encourage the portrayal of women and girls as strong, confident, and even powerful. But the moment you begin to insert radical feminist rhetoric into a fictional narrative, you have lost me as a willing viewer. Another production which falls into many of the same traps is the most recent incarnation of Supergirl. I have loved superhero stories all my life, and Supergirl is a character that I have deep respect for. However, the show's main entertainment value, which in my view is derived from Supergirl's battles with various villains of the week, is too often compromised by bland, uninteresting sermonizing and ham-fisted dialogue droning on about the way things should be. It's a pity, really, because I believe that the young actress who plays Cora is almost perfect in the role, and if the writers simply cut out all the progressive crap that they are so obviously trying to force down our throats, the show would actually be worth my time. So here's a message to all the influential leftist writers dominating Hollywood right now. If you are trying to win the average Joe over to your cause, I have to tell you, you're doing a pretty terrible job. That just about wraps it up for this one, folks. If you enjoy my content and would like to help me make more of it, then please consider signing up to support me on a monthly basis via Patreon. However, if you like my content but don't want to commit to monthly support, I welcome any and all once-off contributions via PayPal. For now, farewell.